You have used data bindings extensively throughout this training. You have bound data between MXML components and between MXML components and ActionScript variables. All of the bindings have been one-way bindings. In this video, you will learn about two-way bindings and how to implement them. Here is the example application that I will use in this video and that you will modify in the associated exercise. I'm displaying a column chart control that has salary information about each employee. When you click on one of the chart items, the form below the chart is populated with that employee's information, including the salary. When I make a change to the salary, nothing happens in the chart. However, after I apply a two-way binding to this salary form field, then when I make changes, the value is immediately reflected in the chart. Here's the main starter application file. It includes the data handling and value objects that you implemented in day 2. This HTTP service object accesses a remote XML file with the employee data. The return data will be placed in the employees array collection instance, which is a class property and is bound to the data provider of the chart. The return data, which is an array collection of generic objects, is converted into an array collection of employee value objects using the employee ActionScript class in the value objects package. Each employee value object is added to the employee's class property on the loop iteration. I want the user to be able to click a chart record to populate the form. Each time the user clicks on a record in the chart, I want to access the data for that employee. In this script block, after the employee's variable declaration, I'm typing selected employee and pressing Control 1 to invoke the Quick Assist tool and selecting the Create Instance Variable option. This creates a private variable named selected employee, data typed to the object class. I'm changing the variable so that it is data typed to the employee class. Above the selected employee variable, I'm typing an open bracket and then B to invoke the Content Assist tool and pressing Enter to insert a bindable metadata tag into my code. Next, I'm adding an item click event to the column chart tag and then using FlashBuilder's Code Assist tool to generate the handler for me. The event object has a hitData.item property that contains the data that was clicked. I'm going to assign this data to the selected employee variable I just created by typing selected employee equals event.hitData.item. When I save the file, you can see that I get an implicit coercion error because the event.hitData.item property is a generic object instance and the selected employee variable is typed to the employee value object class. I'm adding the as employee statement to cast the item to the employee class as well. Now when I save the file, the error goes away. When a record in the chart is selected, the selected employee variable will hold the data that I want to use to populate the form. To save time, I'm pasting a form with text input controls for the first name, last name, location, and salary data. Note that each text property is bound to the associated data that is in the selected employee object. I'm saving the file and then running the application. When I click on a column representing the employee, the form is populated with data from the employee record I selected. However, when I change the salary value, there's no change in the chart. This is because the bindings are one-way data bindings. One-way data binding allows one object to watch for changes in the property of another object. In my example, the text input controls are set to watch for changes in the selected employee object, but the selected employee object is not watching the text input controls. A two-way data binding allows two objects to watch for changes in a property of the other object. Note that two-way data binding is not available before Flex 4. Back in Flash Builder, I am locating the text input control for the salary data. Note that the ID property is salary input. Each object in a two-way binding must have a unique identifier that the application can watch. I'm adding the @ character at the beginning of the binding assignment. This tells the compiler that this is a two-way binding. At this point though, the binding still will not work. Note the warning messages for each of the selected employee properties. In the value objects directory, I'm opening the employee.as file and adding a bindable metadata directive on the entire class. When I save the file, you can see that the warning messages have gone away. I'm saving the main application file and running the application again. Now when I click on an employee in the chart and change her salary, you can see that the chart reflects the changes in real time. For your next step, work through the exercise titled Using a Two-Way Binding.